Here we go. Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday. We are in it. We are in October, the month of Dallas Momentum Academy, the month that we partner with Love Biome. Let's go. Many exciting things happening tonight. And tonight's lesson and habit that you get to hear from Miss Becky Taylor is like so perfectly timed because we are talking about habit 4, which is win-win, going from the me mentality to the we mentality. You know what I'm talking about. But so it's perfect timing to hear this. So again, my name's Tanya Sheldon, and this is the Leader's Edge. So this was brought together. Becky, you can go to the next slide, sweetie. This was again, brought together by the leaders that you see in this photo. Each one of these leaders was handpicked by the company to be flown in to spend a weekend learning about Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and how to directly apply it to growing our LifeVantage businesses. And so we collectively put together and created this mission statement for you that we wanted to bring to the field so that we could teach you what we learned at corporate that weekend. And our mission is to raise up confident, effective leaders by coaching these principles of the 7 habits of highly effective people. And we will equip leaders with the skills to grow personally, lead with integrity, doing what you say you're going to do, and multiplying your influence. And together, we're developing a wave of new leaders to join the League of Leaders. These leaders will create lasting impact, inspire others, and move this mission forward. And again, the success stats, okay? This is 202 years of experience that you see in this photo collectively. That's bananas. And it's over 71 million in volume generated and over 30 million in earnings. And yet, we're still a baby apple. That's pretty crazy, right? We are just getting started. So, we're taking again these habits from this book. I don't remember how long it's been around, how many publications it has sold over and over and over again in every language that you could possibly think of. The 7 habits of highly effective people, where you will become profoundly more effective in the things that matter most to you in your work and in your personal life. And tonight, I'm so excited. Well, we've got one more slide, I think, here. Our standards and our core values. This was so important for us too, because again, just like with this call or with anything in life, having that foundation that you set yourself for, the integrity, the values that you hold in your life, if you have these set for yourself, then you're more aware of what you want to let into your life and what you don't want to have into your life. So the standards and core values we've created for this call are the things that leaders do and how you will get the most out of this. So we want you to show up consistently. Right now, we're at 35 people, okay? So we know when we started this, there were a lot more. And we know, right, when you start something, it never fails, right? The numbers whittle. It's just like when somebody comes into LifeVantage, little after time, a lot of people will float away. It's the small percentage that stay the task, stay the course, and stay plugged in. So we are so proud of you for being here tonight and committing to this on a Sunday night. Like, so proud of you. Everybody, pat yourself on the back. That's integrity. That's what leaders do. So great job. Leaders engage fully. Cameras on, your heart's open, ready to learn, using the chat and utilizing the Facebook group as well. Please remember that the Leaders Edge Facebook group is there. Recordings are in there, but it's also a place for you to maybe apply a win. If you need some help, if you're looking to collaborate, anything, use that. Applying what you learn. Knowledge without action doesn't transform. So we don't want you to just take this and shelf it. We want you to use it, and then encouraging others. Leaders lift others while they climb. So pay attention to who else is on this Zoom with you so that maybe they can become somebody that you team up with or you look for them in Dallas, okay? So one thing I love about when we talk about Dallas is getting to know other leaders. And I am so grateful that I have gotten to know Becky Taylor on the scale that I have. When we went to the Leaders Edge retreat basically this year, I got to sit directly across from her at dinner, and hearing her story, I have to tell you, Becky is a warrior. She is an overcomer. She is such an overcomer. And her beautiful family, you want to talk about first class children and children that are successful in doing big things. That is what Becky has done. She has done that and raised phenomenal children, and it is bled completely into her grandchildren, who are just the biggest rock stars. I got the cutest picture of her on the ship in Alaska, her and her husband watching her grandson, who's like this all-star baseball athlete. So anyway, Becky is a wife, a mother of 4 grown children, and a grandmother to 9, with over 22 years of experience as a realtor. She expanded her passion into the health and wellness field more than a decade ago when she was introduced to activation. And today, as an executive consultant, she remains committed to continual growth and learning, and believing that true leadership comes from surrounding herself with others who inspire her. So, Becky, I love you so much. I'm in awe of you and everything you do. And I just cannot wait to see how God uses you tonight to just feed everyone on the Zoom and those that watch it back. So thank you so much for saying yes.
Thank you so much. You made me cry. I mean, I listen to those words and I look at my family and go, I get weepy. I really do. And this picture is already about a year and a half old, because my daughter in the blue on the very far end, she was carrying another set of twins. So I have 2 sets of twins in my family, and they're already 18 months old. So this is already outdated, but my family is done with all the kids. I have a son that should be in that picture, but he's not. That's a story for God to tell yet in the future. But he's around. But this is my why. This is why I dove into what I did 10 years ago in this amazing activation space, and joined and partnered up with LifeVantage, because I want to be around to see my great grandchildren, and even my plan is my great great grandchildren, and I want to be as healthy as I can, and I want to be available for them, and I want to have the freedom to be able to be with these amazing humans. And I'm going to be traveling with one set of those people coming up here internationally. We're going to Italy together. So God has blessed me, and I'm just glad you're here. And tonight I'm going to be talking about win-win, and this is why you're here, because you're here to win. And we're going to be talking about our fourth, let me move, I got to click this picture so I can move on. Our 4th habit, and we are going from where we have been in being proactive. And these are the private victories that we want to have, being proactive with habit 1 we went through. And then we went over the week of habit 2, begin with the end in mind. I love that, because looking at my family's picture, you can look at your family's picture and go, where do I want to be there? Where do I want to be there? And I always look into my there and go, I actually don't exactly know where there is yet, the end in mind, but all I know is I'm going there. And so I just love that. And then putting first things first. And that is so critical, that we have to know what are the most important things. And that's what Michelle talked about last week, taking those big rocks, putting them in first, and then putting the other small things around. Me, it's God, it's family, then it's business. But today I am so excited to talk about think win-win. And we are in a win-win business. So we're going to be diving down into this maturity now, where we're talking about others. First of all, we've got to take care of our own self. That's where we're dependent upon ourselves. When we enter into this next space and these next 4 habits we're going to enter into, we're now going to be into interdependence. We're going to be entering into a team. What happens? We're working together with other humans. It's quite the dynamic when you let other humans enter into your life, and now we're caring for others. So just as I open up, before I really jump into tonight's training, I just kind of want to invite us all to take a deep breath together, which is so important. I know I need to do it because I'm trying to get my butterflies that I'm so excited, yet I'm so nervous. I don't know why, because I know I love you all and I know you love me too, but I'm just so nervous because this is so exciting and it's so important. So I'm just going to take a deep breath because sometimes we forget to breathe and just get my butterflies to fly in formation and just I'm just going to pray that there is something that is in this training tonight that will give you a paradigm shift that you need to bring your life forward, to bring your life into your future. And so habit 4, think win-win, isn't just a business concept or a negotiation strategy. It's a way of seeing people. It's a way of being in relationships. It's about showing up with integrity, maturity, and an abundance mindset. And we're going to go through all those. Believing that life isn't a competition, it's a collaboration, that your success and my success can coexist together. When we think win-win, we stop asking, how can I win this? And we start asking, how can we both grow from this? It's a mindset that invites trust, empathy, and creativity, whether it's in leadership, family, or friendship. So this is going to be something that you are going to use in every facet of your life. So tonight, as we walk through this habit, let's keep our hearts open to how we can practice this win-win habit daily, not just with our teams or our customers, but with our families, our spouses, our communities, and even with our hearts. Because when we live from a win-win heart, everybody wins. So let's dive in. This habit is all about abundance, approaching each situation and looking for ways that everyone can win. The common paradigm out in the world right now, and this is kind of the world's paradigm, and we don't want it to be yours, that the more you get, that there's less for me. So if you over there get some more, that means there's less for me. And sometimes when you have a lot of, say, team members, and maybe this has happened to you, you have team members in your community. Well, is it already saturated because everyone that knows me already knows you and everybody that knows you already knows me and they feel like there's not enough for everyone? And I have a whole theory behind that and I would love to get into it and share it with you tonight, but I don't want to take the time. But the point is, somebody is waiting for you. Doesn't matter whether I actually am doing this. They were waiting for you. And when they see that you have signed up and you have endorsed this, they're going to join you. Maybe I was the one that planted the seeds, but you're the one that God wants to give the harvest to. So there is plenty for everyone. And that is the effective paradigm, that there is more than enough for everyone. Win-win is a frame of mind and heart that constantly seeks mutual benefit in all human interactions. That's one of Stephen Covey's. And I want to talk a little bit about this pillar of integrity because there are 3 foundations of win-win pillars: integrity, staying true to values; maturity, the balance between courage and consideration; and the abundance mentality, believing there's enough for everyone. Let's dive into integrity for a minute. And I think I'm just going to talk about integrity because I didn't put a sheet up for it. So just kind of listen. Integrity is the habit of making your words and your actions one. That's a Stephen Covey quote. So integrity is more than honesty. Sometimes we see those two as the same things. It's being whole and undivided, which means doing what's right, even when it's not convenient, popular, or visible. That's integrity. In Covey's world, integrity is the cornerstone of effectiveness because without trust, there's no real influence in our life, in business. It's not your techniques or your titles, those of you that have titles, that earn loyalty. It is the consistency of your character. That is what the pillar of integrity is about. Keep commitments, align words and actions, be principle centered, and own your mistakes quickly. That's integrity. You own your mistakes very quickly. So Covey taught that integrity creates the trust account. There's a book out there. I highly recommend you getting it, that I believe it was his son who wrote The Trust Account. I have it on Audible. Every honest action is a deposit. Every broken promise, a withdrawal. So when we live with integrity, we communicate without even speaking. And what integrity says is, you can count on me. So let's talk about courage and consideration a minute. So, courage and consideration. Courage is the willingness to speak our thoughts. And this is let's go back a minute. This is the maturity part. Maturity, the balance between courage and consideration. Courage is the willingness to speak our thoughts and feelings, even when it's hard. I kid you not, it is not always easy to be with someone and have to really speak your thoughts and feelings. It's hard. It takes courage to face someone. And especially if you have to admit you've done something wrong and really humble your heart, courage also takes a lot of humility. Consideration then is a willingness to listen. And if something's happened in your relationship with someone, you have to be willing to listen to others' thoughts and their feelings, even when it's hard. And a part of consideration is validating that other person's feelings. Remember, nobody can make you feel a certain way. You can feel that way. You can't make another person feel a certain way, but if they feel that way, they can own it. And you need to validate that they feel that way. Not, well, you shouldn't feel that way. No, willingness to listen to another's thoughts and validate their thoughts and feelings, even when it's hard. So a little more on consideration and courage. So you need courage to express your own needs. How many of you can just put a 1 in there and say, I have a hard time saying I need help. I need. Sometimes instead of saying I need, you just withdraw instead. Courage keeps you in the game. Courage keeps you present. Courage keeps you at the table. And when you don't have it and you can't express your own needs, you withdraw. That's not courage. Neither is it integrity, because you're not being honest about how you really feel to yourself. So you need consideration also to care for others' needs. Win-win, and being in that mature pillar requires both to be strong. So when this happens, it then builds trust and it strengthens relationships. It creates collaboration and innovation. It actually brings a sense of freedom to your own heart too. There's something freeing in the heart when you just have that heart-to-heart conversation and you're so honest and open and humble. Whew. Take that breath again. Whew. I feel myself kind of tightening up because I feel the stress of this. I've been in these situations and it causes your chest to get all tight, but it improves team morale and it fosters long-term success and commitment. And who can say, I would love long-term success and commitment? Well, courage and consideration is really part of it. So maturity is the balance between courage and consideration. Another Stephen Covey quote. Now let's think about the third pillar. Think win-win. This is about your attitude, and that's bolded. Your attitude. That's huge, to have this attitude adjustment period. So habit 4 is also win-win. It's about abundance. We talked a little bit about that, but let's go in a little bit deeper. It's about looking for opportunities for everyone to benefit. There are more of these opportunities than we realize. And I'm going to read a little reflection on this because I think this abundance mindset is a big one, that sometimes the baggage comes from your past. Sometimes the baggage of not having an abundance mindset comes from the way you were raised. You've got to go back and look at what you were raised in. Some of us that were raised with a single mom that didn't have very much money, that we kind of scrapped by. One time, God had somebody deliver groceries on our front porch because we literally didn't even have groceries as living with my mom, who was a single mom. And we didn't know better. We thought we had lots, but we didn't. And somebody dropped off groceries on our step one day, and I was in awe. But it kind of puts you into a little bit of a poverty mindset versus an abundance mindset. And poverty mindset isn't always just about money. It's kind of about holding other things close. Like there's, if I let you into this space that I'm in, there's not going to be enough for me. So let's talk about abundance, what the abundance mindset is. So again, I have to do that. When I'm saying take a breath, I'm reminding myself because I'm talking and I feel like I'm holding my breath. Take a deep breath and let it back out again. There's plenty of air for everybody. So life is not a competition. It's a collaboration. And I'm glad I have a great big God that I get to collaborate with all the time, every day, all day. So I'm just going to throw that in there. When we live from a place of abundance, we no longer see others' successes as a threat. We see it as proof of possibility. If they can do it, so can I. When we live from a place of abundance, we no longer see, oops, I just said that. Sorry, that's why I'm reading. Abundance whispers, and it's a loud whisper. There's enough for all of us. It's the belief that the more love, opportunity, and the goodness we give, the more flows back to us. Scarcity says there isn't enough. Abundance says there's more where that came from. Scarcity clings, abundance releases. Scarcity feels lost, fears loss. Abundance trusts growth, even if that growth is taking longer than you wish it would. Sometimes our impatience slows us down, but growth is there in the abundance mindset. The abundance mindset is the soil where the habit for think win-win takes root. Think of that. Till up the soil of abundance in your heart right now. Throw out some rocks, pull up some weeds, fluff that soil up, because this is where the mindset win-win takes root, is in a fertile soil of the mindset of abundance. So when you have abundance, you start creating spaces where everyone can thrive, where you can celebrate others' victories. So think for a moment, just reflect, ask yourself these questions. Where do I still think in scarcity? Okay, another one. What would I shift if I believed there's more than enough? And a third question. How can I show up this week with an abundant heart in words, choices, and generosity? When you live from abundance, you radiate ease, trust, and possibility. Your energy tells others you're safe here. We can win together. Only collaboration, only creation and connection. That is the place where we can abide together. So, practicing win-win daily. Some practical tips. Focus on mutual benefit. Separate people from the problem. People are not your problem, okay? They may have some information that they need. They may have issues. They may need to change some mindsets, but people are who you love. They're not the problem. Seek first to understand, and we're going to get into that next week. I cannot wait for that one. That is, and I believe it's you, Tanya, that's going to be talking about seek first to understand next week, because that's going to be where you really come into the compassion. Use clear win-win agreements and choose no deal when necessary. I'm not getting into that whole one, but this is what it means. If you can't find a genuine win for both sides, you don't force a compromise that makes one or both people lose. Don't do that either. You simply choose no deal, meaning no agreement, no pressure, and no resentment. Let it go. Let them. You guys know that book. Let them. Maybe that's the situation you might find yourself in. So, when you live with an abundance mindset, opportunities multiply. Success expands when shared. Win-win is the wheel that keeps abundance turning. And with that, I'm going to give you just a little closing reflection here. Oh, not quite yet. Sorry. Let's go back. Where am I at here? Okay, think win-win. I'm not going to close out yet, but I'm very close. Focused, think win-win is focused on common ground. It's both felt, heard, and respected, and the outcome benefited both persons and the company. And don't you agree that we are literally in the best company on the market, just going 2.0? Oh, hallelujah. I could not be more excited about what's to come. You are in the right place at the right time, which means you're in the right place at the right time. All 45 of us that are on this call, thank you for being here. So a little more reflection and application before I close this out. This habit grows from integrity, maturity, and abundance that we just went through. Win-win is a principle, not a tactic. This habit is what relationship needs. More courage, or it's asking the question, what relationship needs more courage and more consideration? Maybe you want to write down a couple people's names tonight that you need to actually serve a little more courage and consideration to this person. This habit is the foundation of public victory. And now be asking yourself as you're planning your week, where can you apply win-win thinking this week? Maybe it's in your own private office and closet. Maybe it's with another person. Win-win is the wheel that keeps abundance turning. So as we close our time together tonight, I want to invite you to reflect with an open heart. So remember that habit 4 isn't just about reaching agreements, it's about becoming the kind of person who creates trust wherever they go. It's a mindset that honors both courage and compassion, truth and empathy, success and humility. When we choose to think win-win, we lead with abundance instead of fear. We collaborate instead of compete, and we build bridges instead of barriers. So before you move on with your week, take a moment to consider again, like we said, where can I apply? What relationship? And how can I create more abundance, not just for me, but for others, with my team, with my family? And carry this thought with you. When one person wins with integrity and love, we all win. Stephen Covey says in closing, if both don't win, both eventually lose. Your win doesn't require my loss. Seek mutual benefit, not personal victory. And that, my friends, is the cap that I will put on for this night. The habit number 4, think, win, win. And remember, we have this group, so let's continue this conversation. If you get a win this week, drop it in here. I would love to hear your wins. How this is maybe giving you a paradigm shift, or drop a little note of maybe like this was like, whoa, this was a huge aha for me. Drop it in there. Let's encourage others to also do this. And then next one, plan your week. So when you get off this call, you open up your calendar and begin to put those big rocks in place and plan your week. Because the key isn't to prioritize what's already on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. So this is a very basic part of what we are teaching and what we are saying going forward. And then I cannot wait to hear the beautiful Tanya Shelton on the habit number 5, seek first to understand, then be understood. And she is going to bring the fire, the heart, and the passion next week. So I look forward to being with you there. We ended right at 6:30. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Love you all. God bless every one of you. God bless your week. Go prosper and let's make it a win-win week.